Hey everybody, Grayson here, Gundam Gambler. I'm recording this just after 12 a.m., July 25th, which means this is the day after release of Freedom Ascension GD-05, and I really do believe GD-05 is shaking up the market. People are now paying attention to Gundam, and in this video, I just want to take you guys through some of the initial sales on some of these cards, because I think we have a better idea now of how this set is going to play out, at least in the short term, right? Whatever happens with reprints in the future, we'll deal with that when it comes. But out the gate, I think we have a decent idea where this box is headed. So just to start off, on TCG Player, $195 currently, and there are sales at $280. The lowest listed box right now is $280 exactly on the platform. Now, I do think that over the next couple of days, we'll see more sellers come to market, and I wouldn't be shocked if this price comes down to around $170 a box, maybe even slightly less than that. HPW in Canada still has boxes up for like $230, and I don't know if that's pre-order for Wave 2 or they actually have those on hand, but definitely not $195 USD, at least in Canada, right? You can definitely find the box a little bit cheaper than that still. However, out the gate, based on what we know, there is going to be a ton of value in this set. And if you look on TCG Player right now, maybe it'll be different 6 hours, 12 hours from now. We don't even have all the cards on the platform yet showing a market value. The only LR++ of the 5 on the site, when you look up Freedom Ascension, is the Sazabi right now, which is going for about $1,000, I believe. If we want to look at sales here, $1,000 for 3 sales averaged out over the past 24 hours. Now, I do want to point out there's also been sales on eBay, and we will take a look at that towards the end of the video for a couple of the LR++s, but $1,000 for one of the top chases, and it's not even going to be the top chase. So I think that is amazing. And outside of that, a lot of these SP resource cards are incredibly expensive as well. So this is the top one currently, going for about $415. It's based on 3 sales. I was looking in the Facebook groups in Canada. People were trying to get an insane amount of money for some of these cards, which I don't really blame people if they were opening this a day or two early, trying to be first to market. I totally understand, but we're seeing multiple sales on release day for some of these around $400. And then, of course, we're going to have the pilot SPs as well. So Amaro Ray here, this is going for about $350. 2 quantities sold, which I thought was interesting. After that, we have Soletta Mercury. Somebody was trying to get 800 Canadian in a Facebook group for this earlier, or I guess yesterday at this point. I was going to say earlier today, but yeah, it's selling for about $250 USD. And I do expect all of these cards to drop in value over the next couple of weeks as more of them come to market. However, even just based on what we're seeing right now with the resource SPs, with the pilot SPs, we are more than likely, and of course with the LR++s, we are more than likely going to have 10 cards over $100 in the set, maybe even more than that. And realistically, we're going to have multiple cards over $1,000 in the set. And I don't think people realize just how big that is, right? When I initially started investing in One Piece, I was looking at these booster boxes that were selling for $100, $150. Maybe a good one was pushing $200. You would have cards, you would have chases in that set that really weren't that difficult to pull that were going for $500 to $1,000. So being able to see something like the Wing Gundam or the Strike Freedom going for $1,000, $2,000, that is going to be a big deal in my opinion. And I do just want to show you guys a few more of the top chases currently before we move over to eBay sales. So another resource card here going for about $235. This one was being shared in a few groups that I'm in beforehand. People seem to get excited about voluptuous looking women on cards, which I can understand why. From an investment perspective, it's definitely not something that is a negative. Of course, we're going to have a ton of LR+, R+, in this set that look great. I actually prefer the artworks of the LR+s compared to the LR++s, at least in this set and GD-04 as well. So the Wing Gundam 0 here already going for about $215, but we have seen sales going for closer to $200 there. And then the Strike Freedom Gundam LR Plus, another really solid looking artwork. This one is coming down though rather quickly. Sales about $90 now. So I would expect that some of these continue to get cheaper. I don't think it's realistic to see all of these prices holding, but hopefully that gives you a decent idea of how the top to mid tier is going to look inside Freedom Ascension. Now, before we go over to eBay and just look at a couple sales, if you guys enjoy the content, I would really appreciate if you leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, hype the video as well. It helps out a ton. We're closing in on 1,000 subscribers. So thank you guys so much for the support. And if you are shopping and you want to support the channel, there are, of course, affiliate links here. They're free and easy to use. I get a small kickback. So thank you so much in advance if you do decide to use those. Now, hopping over to eBay, just a couple sales then bringing up. Not going to be going super in depth. We're going to have to wait for Tuesday doing the weekly market update. But Master Gundam, we've seen a sale, $1,200 US. And I think if you look on eBay over the next couple days, you're going to see some sales that are incredibly cheap and maybe a couple that are quite expensive. And it's going to take a while until we find a market average on a lot of these. But if you're looking to pick up any of these cards, I would be scouring eBay right out the gate. I saw not the Master Gundam, but the Strike Freedom. There was a sale at $1,200. And you can see this sale, $39.50 or best offer. They didn't get that much, but $2,000, right? So $1,200 to $2,000, that is a massive difference. And the final sale that I want to share with you guys, the Wing Gundam Zero, this LR++ sold $3,250. It looks like this was an auction that also had a buy it now price of $3,250. Someone just paid in full, ended the sale there. So it'll be interesting to see the next few that come in, ultimately where these cards end up. But I think it's safe to say there will be multiple cards in the set, at least out the gate, over $1,000. And I wouldn't be surprised if we have multiple cards hold over $1,000. Obviously, a lot of it's going to come down to pull rates, which unfortunately we don't really know a ton about. I'm definitely going to be watching YouTube case unboxings over the next couple of weeks, maybe even couple of months. Any new case that shows up, I'll definitely be looking at that just to get a better idea of pull rates, right? Because, you know, like One Piece, TCG Player does not publish a ton of solid data. Nobody else really is opening 5,000, 10,000 packs, giving us a semi-decent sample size to get a better idea of how things are going to look. So it really is a community effort to try and get that information out there. And I unfortunately think that sometimes that also leads to misinformation or incorrect numbers being shared that people just run with, right? Because when you try and look up that information, the only thing that comes up is a Reddit page or a Facebook group. And obviously there is no, peer monitoring in those scenarios. So with all that said, I think if you don't have Freedom Ascension, I would recommend trying to buy some right now. Probably not off TCG Player, but look at your local LGS, maybe shop on Facebook, eBay, whatever. There's tons of stores in Canada that are under TCG Player right now. Get a couple boxes. However, when Wave 2 hits, that is going to be your time to really build a position. I can't imagine it's going to be cheaper than when that time comes. And it's likely going to be a month from now, 2 months from now, maybe even sooner, honestly. So keep an eye out for that. I think it is going to be a very big set. Obviously, a lot of people are talking about this right now. You have cases going for $2,400, $200 a case, guys. We haven't seen this in Gundam up to this point. We haven't seen 5 LR++s in a set. We haven't seen this many amazing SPs, whether it's the pilot cards, the resources, which are brand new to the game coming out the first time in Freedom Ascension. So there's so many bullish signs, so many things that I can point to. And for somebody who's maybe just getting in to the TCG, there is so much more to come, right? We're just getting started. So very exciting news, very exciting times. If you guys opened any GD-05, let me know what your top hit was. If you're planning to open any, good luck. I'm probably going to open a box or two. I had some loose boxes also on order from a store in Canada. So that'll be a fun time. With all that said, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe wherever you are in the world. I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll catch you in the next one.